I'm Geoffrey in a Khwarezm campaign in Broken Crescent version 2.3.2 on very hard. We are already in game turn 64. You can probably notice I've started slowing down. There's a lot of activity around this time. We're in position 8 in the charts.
Yes. Inshallah, none of them shall escape us. To battle! Sieging the walls, mighty Sultan. I will make them kneel before you.
Well, I'm not the Sultan, you're the Shah, and you are besieging Mansoura. You can see the garrison. It's a reasonably strong garrison. It has some heavy cavalry, the Askari Lancers. We have a lot of cavalry ourselves. So it's going to be a fair fight. In the meantime, Malik Shah, who had been defeated outside Herat, has come back with more cavalry, and he's laying siege on... or he's attacking a unit, a small group, a small force outside Herat, and the garrison of Herat is coming out. So here's the units that are outside Herat. There are infantry, there are some Ghazi warriors. It's a relatively small but decent unit. Then there are some Pashtun swordsmen, not very many. There are some Turkish bowmen of some kind. This seems a little bit better. Here's the enemy general. He has a bodyguard of Lancers, I think, and he also has some cavalry in Herat. His name is Ismail, and the cavalry is Junior Ghulam Lancers. So he has the Emir's guard with him, who are Lancers. And these were two of the units that caused a lot of trouble in the previous battle outside Herat. So this is our chance to take revenge.
Not one of us shall fail to keep all in battle! To the battle.
So the infantry force has been caught outside Herat. They're being attacked by our cavalry. You see their reinforcements are coming from the distance. Our skirmishing cavalry is about to skirmish on the flanks of the enemy infantry. So here's the enemy infantry. They have these Pashtun swordsmen. They are medium swordsmen with a shield. Then they have some slightly heavier unit here. They also have some archers. These are these Turkish Ardath, I think they were called. There's some Turkish archers. Our Turkoman cavalry has formed these shooting circles. Here is the reinforcing army coming out of Herat. Here you see the outskirts of Herat. There are some farms here. So here are the Ghulams on the right. They're junior horse archers, Ghulam horse archers. There is an infantry unit. They are bowmen. They are relatively light. And behind them is the general with his bodyguard. And you can see here the farms from the side of Herat. We do not see Herat itself. It's missing. But it's in the next tile. You can imagine it's there. Here are those Pashtun swordsmen. And they're being pelted with arrows at the moment. They are moving towards our general, I think. And there are also these heavier swordsmen on the right here that look like more regular Ghurid swordsmen. Captain Giyaf, their captain, has been slain. And here's the enemy general, Ismail, the one who came out of Herat. And he's been ganged upon by some of our heavy cavalry, including, I think, some heavy lancers and our general with his bodyguard there. Is it our general or is it a unit of heavy lancers? Maybe they're cataphracts lancers. They're cataphracts lancers. Here is our general.
We have cut off the serpent's head.
So, the enemy general has been slain.
Victory is well within our grasp. In time our foe will surely see this and lose heart.
The governor of Herat is slain, Ismail.
Only half the enemy force remains. We must pray they lose their will to fight.
And so here's what remains of the Ghulam horse archers. So Ismail, the enemy general, is dead. And a few of the enemy horse archers are still surviving. We're shooting at them here from every side. They barely have a dozen men left now. And they charge our men, we charge back.
Our enemy lost. They run like children. Scour them from the field.
So they charged uphill, so we had the advantage. And we routed the enemy army.
All praise to Allah! You have left our enemy lost! They run like children! Scour them from the field!
So we've won this battle, we must not let anyone escape and get back to Herat. So there's still some infantry here, we have to cut them down. We eliminated all their cavalry. So we're taking revenge. You probably saw there was a building that looked like some sort of South European mansion or something, some kind of country estate or something in the distance before. I don't know what that was. It wasn't on the side of Herat, and it looked South European rather than Muslim. I'm not sure why it was there. That's very unusual. So here are a couple of enemy swordsmen. They have still survived. These are these Ghazi swordsmen, I think. They are very good, these guys. We cut them down anyway.
The enemy must curse the day they were born. Let all the poets write of this most wondrous triumph.
So a wondrous triumph, indeed. We only lost 91 men. That's a decent exchange. We had lost more than 400 in the previous battle. And so you can see our units did well, but especially the Persian Deccan Lancers, they did exceptionally well. They killed 185. They have more men than other types of Lancers we have in their unit, so maybe that helps.
No! Do not do this! Show Allah's mercy! Alhamdulillah! Your faith and courage have triumphed!
You threatened to throw our cops to the dogs, and this is what you get now.
An honor to serve. We will engage them honorably. Alhamdulillah! Allah has granted us victory! The word of the blessed prophet will be spread here. Victory!
Okay, we've taken revenge.
Na'am. Sultan, we shall end this day in triumph.
And here's a battle in Khiva. You remember a small Kipchak army has laid siege on Khiva. We auto-resolved. We lost 300 men by auto-resolving. What? Never auto-resolve. Never. I mean, the odds were in our favor, and they damaged the walls of Khiva. The odds were in our favor, but we would have lost much fewer men had we not auto-resolved. Never mind. So we have to retrain these units now. Wow, look at, we lost like half the garrison. What? Okay, so here's the situation in the middle of the map around Birjand and Zarag and Herat and so on. We see we put some units out on force to save us money. They get free upkeep there.
I will not waste words on you, infidel.
There is a strong Gurid force. It was penetrating deep into our lands, heading for Birjand or Tos. But now we're taking Herat, they're probably going to retreat. So we killed two birds with one stone. So back to the east in the land of Sind, we're at Mansoura, and no, we're laying siege on Mansoura. And the defenders have a strong force. They also have some decent cavalry. They have these Askari nobles. They are lancers, and they are sallying out. I do believe these guys here at the front are the Askari nobles. Very dangerous cavalry. And they were about to charge our barricades, and they got charged on their advance by our elephants. They never made it to our barricades. Maybe a few horsemen made it to the barricades. Careful with those bows, Eugene. Those firing, flaming arrows could excite our elephants a little too much.
Victory is well within our grasp. In time our foe will surely see this and lose heart.
So there we had engaged the enemy general with his bodyguard in melee, and this infantry was coming to our aid, and so one of our light horse units attacked them on their charge, on their advance. Okay, we charged another infantry unit there with a light cavalry and another infantry unit here at the backs of this, so we are recycling our charges with our light cavalry.
Now his men can sense their doom upon them.
We don't have any heavy cavalry, I don't think so, maybe a very small unit. But our light cavalry is really taking all prisoners. They're doing really well. So this is another charge by our light cavalry. They're doing terrifically well today. They are destroying the enemy army. Of course, the elephants did the main part.
Only half the enemy force remains. We must pray they lose their will to fight.
Okay, the enemy general is dead. Careful with those flaming arrows, Eugene. Just... oh, you have to micromanage the archers so much. Okay, so this is, I think this is some heavy infantry here. They look like some heavy swordsmen, seem swordsmen. Perhaps they're the Shumro Kshatriya type. They're a very good unit. Oh man, those flaming arrows. Okay, looks like we've got the situation under control. Our cavalry has destroyed the enemy army, and a light cavalry unit has gone into Mansoura, and they're heading for the town plaza. We've taken the gate. So we've gotten the gateway, we've captured the gateway.
Our men have taken control of the city.
And our men have taken control of the city. Yes. The fighting outside continues. There are these half-naked guys. They don't look great, but what can we do? These axemen, the elephants are helping out as well.
Our enemy flees before us like a herd of goats. Drive them from the battle. The enemy must curse the day they were born. Let all the poets write of this most wondrous triumph.
So another heroic victory. We lost less than 100 men. Our general killed 24, gained some experience. The mercenary war elephants did the best. So another great victory for Shah Muhammad. A heroic victory. Saladin was smitten with admiration, seeing his men dispersed everywhere, everywhere turned in flight, everywhere given to the mouth of the sword.
We showed the enemy no mercy, Sultan. I swore they would regret resisting us, Sultan, and they do.
And they do, because we sacked their settlement. So that was a quote from the Battle of Mongizad by one of the Crusader Chronicles, that quote about Saladin. So we've got Mansoura now, and we are given the offer of a Merchants Guild in Khiva, which I absolutely love. It's my favorite guild. We're going to say yes. And a coral tie, finally. There are tidings of a meeting of the Mongol tribes. They have elected a single leader. They are united under a single warlord. So we have word of a Mongol invasion in the making. It's still 10 years ahead, but we can start to worry. So we have repaired Khiva. There are some events. There's a flash flood in Eastern Fars. Okay, we're in position 6 now overall. That's very good. So here's the flash flood in Eastern Fars near Firuzabad. Nobody was killed. Where is the flood? Ah, there it is on the far right here. There are cries of despair coming from down there. Here's Firuzabad, the regional town. Another battle, this was in the area near Thatta. You see Thatta, or Quetta rather, you see Quetta on the far right. A The Saint Army was sighted out in the country, and we went out with one of our generals, the local governor. Our general took some tribal cavalry with him and some light units that were in Quetta. The enemy has, I do believe, only infantry, and some of their units are depleted. They're mostly light to medium units. Here one of their light units has been charged as they were running away.
4 fights with horns made of clay. We are winning the battle. We have cut off the serpent's head. The enemy general is slain. Let's see how these snakes fight without their head.
Well, they weren't fighting much with their head, so don't expect they will fight a lot without their head. So the enemy general, captain is dead, Captain Jewel, with NH, however you're supposed to pronounce that. And here are some light javeliners. It seems they seem very light. They have been charged by someone. They're running off. They are running after our skirmishing cavalry that have formed a shooting circle. The enemy units are just running here and there, back and forth. Our general has charged those light javelin men. What are they? Swordsmen? What are they? Maybe it's a similar unit of swordsmen. There are also these very light spearmen.
Horns made of clay. We are winning the battle.
Our general is doing well. Our horse archers are skirmishing all around. We're giving no chance to the enemy to come near our men. We also have some infantry up on a hill, but we keep the enemy busy with our cavalry. They never made it up to the hill. You can see our infantry up on that hill. But the enemy infantry is very, very busy now. They also lost their captain, their commander. So they're probably shocked and don't know what to do. So here's a javelin unit, I think. They were trying to attack our general, but they've been charged instead by our general. The enemy had this medium axemen, double-handed axemen. They are running after our general and he's skirmishing away. Our general has as a primary weapon a bow. At least his bodyguard has a bow. So the enemy units continue to skirmish. There's another melee there. We attacked a light spear unit. Some pitiful remnants of the Saint Army are still surviving, and they're now moving towards our infantry that was camped up on that
well
hill.
Within our grasp. In time our foe will surely see this and lose heart.
There's another unit there, I think some light spearmen. They're chasing after our general. I think they managed to kill a couple of the horsemen in his bodyguard.
Only half the enemy force remains. We must pray they lose their will to fight.
And here's our infantry. We have some archers, I think, here, and they are skirmishing back. We have some javelin men, and looks like we have some spearmen and some axemen. So a nice collection of units. And we're charging back. We're charging downhill, so we have the advantage. We have more men.
Victory is well within our grasp. In time our foe will surely see this and lose heart.
And I everything. We routed all those units. There's still this one unit still fighting. There are some light javelin men. No, they've been routed as well. Maybe they're running away. There's our general, he's taking prisoner. Careful with those javelins. Careful, careful. So here's again the beauty of Broken Crescent. I love these maps, these deserts with the sunset skies.
Praise to Allah! You have left our enemy lost. They run like children. Scour them from the field.
So we routed the enemy. So we've scored another victory. Look at this wonderful landscape. It's not just the sky and the light. You know, there's a lake in the distance. Maybe it's a river. Very beautiful. I wish though there were a few more buildings like the odd sort of country monuments, some tomb or mosque, or just a little group of sort of Middle Eastern houses of some sort. It's just too empty. Other than that, it's wonderful. So we're chasing down the enemy, collecting prisoners. Here are those Turkoman archers. They are wonderful, these archers. They are cheap, they can skirmish, and they can cause a lot of casualties until they have expended all their arrows. And they're very hard to catch because they're very light. So the last remaining enemy soldier is running off. He runs and runs.
Great victories are like sweet nectar. Come, let us drink of the most rare and glorious fruit.
So we just lost 49 men. We've got this down to an art. Our general gained a lot of experience. He gained 2 chevrons of experience. Killed 178 of the enemy. Our tribal cavalry also did very well. So Zakaria Chankani has done well. Here are again the results. And a clear victory. So, what shall we do with these prisoners of war? I will offer them up for ransom. But ransom has been rejected, so they were executed.
Yes, Sultan. Your enemies shall fall swiftly.
And now another Sindh army has turned up outside Mansoura. They were a small army, but they seem very powerful. I hope they don't have elephants in them. So we're sailing out of Mansoura. I don't remember if I checked what kinds of units they had.
We shall not leave any of the infidels alive! To battle!
Ah, yes, they had just infantry. That's very strange. So we have basically a lot of cavalry, including the elephants, including some heavy cavalry. And the enemy just has infantry, and somehow the odds are in favor of the enemy. So I think how the AI calculates the balance of strength is partly via numbers. And because infantry units have more men in them, the AI gives them a kind of a higher ranking, more men, so you can flank or something, but you can flank much better with cavalry than with a lot of infantry. But that's something to bear in mind when we do things with this mod. So we're skirmishing around the enemy infantry. They can't do very much. They have these javelin men here, and we're pelting them with arrows. Our cavalry, our horse archers, are skirmishing around them. I think we have 4 units of horse archers, and we have 2 light cavalry units. We have some heavy lancers, and then we have the general's bodyguard and the elephants. we have more units than them and we have cavalry, so we definitely have the tactical advantage. So here are some of our skirmishing cavalry, some of those horse archers. And the enemy has some spearmen. That's probably their worst unit. It's relatively light, although they have shields. They don't have much armor, any armor other than the shields. The shields also look light. They look like they are some cheap sort of shield. And they're armed with spears, so they're not a very good unit. This unit is better. I think these are Shumbro Kshatriya infantry, and they are swordsmen, but they also have javelins, and they have body armor and helmets and so on, so these are quite good. They're a decent unit. They are a solid medium infantry unit. They are good swordsmen. So we'll see what they can do this battle. So our elephants had enough of this running around. They're about to go into battle. Of course, the enemy has javelins, so we have to be careful. We really have to charge fast before they can throw their javelins. Okay, they didn't manage to throw their javelins. They're now all on the ground. By the time they pick up their javelins, they'll be charged again. Oh no, our elephants do the clever thing. They move off and they charge this unit, the next unit down. This was also another javelin, Shumro Kshatriya infantry type unit. They've also been thrown on the ground before they could throw their javelins. Now they picked up their javelins, but they are in melee.
Victory is well within our grasp. In time, our foe will surely see this and lose heart.
So they've been surprised, and now they're fighting with the swords. They're good swordsmen, but swords are useless against elephants.
Enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Our enemy has lost half their men. We keep charging them there. We charge the unit with some of our light cavalry. There were some Sindhi horsemen of some kind. Those Sindhi horsemen, in the end, have done quite well. I thought they were a useless unit, but they're okay. Here are lancers have charged in the back, one of the enemy units. Here we have some heavy half-cataphract golems. That's an excellent unit. I really like that unit. The golems for the Khwarezm faction are different than the standard golems. Here elephants continue fighting against that infantry unit. They have more or less destroyed it by now. They are throwing javelins against somebody. There must be a routing infantry unit nearby.
Our enemy flees before us like a herd of goats. Drive them from the battle.
And so, enemy has been routed.
All the poets write of this most wondrous triumph.
So, another heroic victory. That's not bad. I wouldn't call it heroic, but I only lost 18 men. We really got this horse archer thing down to a T. So, just 18 men as casualties. Our bodyguard did excellently well. The mercenary war elephants did reasonably well as well. In practice, they won the battle.
The Sultan will pay.
Sultan will pay, but no, he doesn't pay, so he abandoned you to your fate, which is execution. So this is a very mean campaign.
Such is the fate of all infidels who face me.
Yes, indeed. But that is their fate. Great Shah. So Shah Muhammad the horseman. Yes, he's gained a trait. He's now a horseman and a great commander. Wonderful. +4 command. That's not so bad.
Shubadak. Naam. There shall be no
And
mercy.
we are besieging Kolachi.
The infidels' walls will not save them, Sultan. I am eager to take the walls now, Sultan.
Kolachi is a great settlement. It's a very large harbor, and so it gets a lot of trade, and it has very high income. Along with Hormuz is one of the best settlements. So Hormuz, we've now got a Dao in Hormuz, and we have various traits, plus 25% to movement points for 3 characters. I think we've got an Explorer's Guild somewhere, and that gives characters extra movement. That's excellent, plus 25%, that's great. So we're in position 8, and we are besieging Bost.
We will engage them honorably. We shall endure outside their walls. Lay siege! Has the time come to strike, mighty Sultan?
Bost is a Ghurid minor city near Herat. And it's Malik Shah, the Beg of Birjan, that's laying siege on Bost. So Malik Shah is now doing well in this part of the world. He's leading the campaign against the Ghurids. Ali Shah the Wrathful is holding Bukhara. He's training a lot of cavalry, expecting the Mongols now, and we'll put the cavalry in forts because there they get free upkeep, and we'll wait for the Mongols. So Bukhara has a wonderful garrison. It also has some of this Sogdian heavy infantry. That's great. We're putting our heavy cavalry, including those Deccan Lancers, in forts. And there's just one cavalry unit in that fort, so we can send another one over. So this cavalry unit will get to that fort. Unfortunately, they bump into a Ghurid unit. And the Ghurid unit is an enemy general with his bodyguard, 45 men, and some axemen. It doesn't look so good. I think the odds are against us, so we're not going to try that. We'll retreat out of this battle. The odds here are realistic. This is what it is. It'll be hard to defeat the enemy. Not impossible, but hard. And here is the situation with the faction rankings. We're in position 6, I think. So the white faction, that's in position 6. We have some strong guys on top of us. It seems there is, I think, the Kingdom of Jerusalem there. There's a blue faction. I'm not sure who the blue faction is. Maybe it is the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Maybe it's the Seljuks of Iraq or the Cumans. There's a green faction. That's the Turks, the Seljuks of Rome, the Turks in Anatolia. Here's our faction in position 6, I think, close to 5. Here's Yunis Khan. He's mad for some reason, I don't know. He's been defending Khiva. That's why he's got all those stars. He's now our best general for his excellent defense of Khiva. And now he's in Gurganj, I think. Merv is a large city, Mashhad nearby. We are building a few things, including Gulam or slave buildings, but we don't get Gulams from these. We only get Gulams from citadels or fortresses. We don't get them from these buildings like in the later version 2.4. We carrying out some repairs in Kolachi, and so the repairs have been finished, a stone wall and a city watch. We have now a Bukhara, a crop rotation thing finished, and a catapult maker in Sukur. And that's the end. We're in game 1067. That's the end of this episode, episode 5. Thank you for watching.